Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Folks, the GameStop frenzy is continuing. This was just reported. You'll see this article on your screen that was published by CNBC. Robinhood restricts trading in GameStop and other names including AMC that were involved in the frenzy. Now keep in mind, Robinhood is the pioneer of zero commission trades, but other major brokerage houses, including the one that I use, Interactive Brokers, have also halted trading in GameStop and other securities. So what these traders have done is they've stopped allowing purchases of certain securities like GameStop, and they're only allowing their clients to close out their positions, which means only sell what you have but don't open new positions. Folks, this is going to create a lot of problems. In fact, I predict legal problems for Robinhood as a direct result of this. And what these trading houses have done is also strengthened margin requirements. In other words, you need to have a certain amount of stock or certain amount of cash in your account if you're going to be using that as collateral to be able to buy some of these highly risky securities as far as trading houses are concerned, like GameStop and AMC. Here's a statement on your screen from Interactive Brokers that said, as of midday yesterday, Interactive Brokers has put certain stocks, including AMC and GameStop, option trading into liquidation only due to the extraordinary volatility in the markets. In addition, long stock positions will require 100% margin, which means that if you have the stock in your account, you've got to have enough collateral to own that stock if you're borrowing it on margin. If you don't, then what the trading house can do is issue a margin call and essentially automatically liquidate some portion of your portfolio. That's what that means. And short stock positions will require 300% margin until further notice. We do not believe this situation will subside until the exchanges and regulators halt or put certain symbols into liquidation only. We will continue to monitor market conditions and may add or remove symbols as may be warranted. Folks, let's take a look at this chart on your screen, which shows you the unbelievable rise of the GameStop stock. Now, I have done another video where I talked about how the GameStop situation happened, and I talked about comments from individuals like Mark Cuban, Chamath Palihapitiya, and even House Speaker Nancy Pelosi weighed in today. So you definitely want to check out that video about how this came about, why it's a sign of things to come, and what is my approach towards this, what is my strategy. In case you haven't guessed it by now, I don't participate in stocks like GameStop. I don't understand them, but I am a long-term investor. My goal is to make between 30% to 50% a year on my portfolio. But again, let's take a look at this chart on your screen, which shows you the unbelievable rise of GameStop. Now, keep in mind that many users of Robinhood are very angry, very upset, because they believe this is the opportunity for the little guy. They believe this is the opportunity for the retail investor, which is a phrase that a lot of these brokerages use. This provides an option for the retail investor to make money and to participate in the rally. And when you are not able to buy but you're only able to sell, that prevents you from participating in the rally. And this has made many Robinhood investors very angry. And so one influential person who is not happy about this is Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She tweeted this, and you see this on your screen. This is unacceptable. We now need to know more about Robinhood's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock as they see fit. And she's right. If you're a hedge fund owner, you can buy the stock, but if you're a retail investor, you're depending on Robinhood, you're depending on Merrill Lynch, you're depending on Interactive Brokers. At this moment in time, at the time I'm recording this video, you can only close out your position, which means you can sell, you cannot open. AOC writes, as a member of the Financial Services Committee, I'd support a hearing if necessary. Pretty incredible. And so, folks, speaking of incredible, AOC's best friend, not Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, actually replied and tweeted, fully agree, in response to AOC. I can tell you that AOC, there she is. Hello, Congresswoman Cortez, and Ted Cruz. Hello, Senator Cruz. They are not best friends, but Ted Cruz did reply to AOC saying, fully agree. And guess what? The legal problems for Robinhood have just begun. Law firm Chapman Albin LLC announced today that it is, I quote, investigating claims on behalf of Robinhood users that were affected and suffered losses as a result of investing in GameStop or AMC through the Robinhood brokerage platform. In fact, Fox News just reported that a class action lawsuit was filed against Robinhood. Yup, folks, this just happened. A class action lawsuit has been filed against Robinhood. Let's take a look at this brand new segment.
On what is going on, certainly not only with all the attention on GameStop, but all the ancillary players that were once short favorites, and now the focus of this international struggle between the buyers and the sellers. Christina.
It is a very risky rebellion, like you mentioned, between those retail traders as well as those institutional investors like hedge funds that are betting stocks will fall. And you've got a lot of these stocks like GameStop that are used as the weapon. For example, GameStop's share price just last April was less than $3. Today it hit an intraday high of $469. The stock has been halted, and now the latest news, Neil, that we just received is that a class action complaint has been filed against Robinhood. Robinhood is a brokerage firm. A lot of these retail investors do use that app to trade the stock. So that's just another element to this story. But these retail investors, they joined forces not only on Reddit, but on TikTok as well, on Facebook, and they encouraged each other to push up the price of GameStop. They did the same with AMC, Nokia, BlackBerry, Koss, Retailer Express, just to name a few. And so much of these traders are saying that these trades aren't on the fundamentals of the stock, not on the profit margins, the cash flow, the leadership, the board, none of that. It more so has to do with what these companies stand for. And what that is, and I took it from the forum, a fight against corporate interest and Wall Street. According to them, it seems to be working because some of these hedge funds, Citron, Melvin Capital, have pulled their positions, but the risky behavior has everyone watching. Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, the SEC said they're watching. You also had even Wells Fargo tell its advisors not to write any recommendations on AMC or GameStop. You had the NASDAQ chief say that they would halt any stocks that were connected to unusual social media chatter. And the latest is the Robinhoods. This is that trading platform. Robinhood put out a statement, quote, "In light of recent volatility, we are restricting transactions for certain securities to position closing only," which means you can only sell it, including AMC, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, Express, GameStop, Koss, Naked, and Nokia. We also raised margin requirements for certain securities. So that means you would need more money in your account to borrow. And you have a lot of people that are upset about this because Robinhood has restricted trading, including Dave Portnoy. He's the Barstool's founder. He tweeted to the co-founder of Robinhood saying, "I hope you go to jail." So you have Wall Street veterans that argue these retail traders are inexperienced, lack diversification, and just as high as that momentum went up, we are starting to see it go down and they could lose big. But it doesn't seem like this trend is stopping as it's trickling across a lot of hard-hit stocks. Neil?
Pretty incredible, right, folks? The headlines are now piling up in news outlets all across the country, and you'll see this headline on your screen from Bloomberg. Robinhood users are furious over its stock trading clampdown. And the reason, like I mentioned before, restrictions have been placed on trading certain stocks like AMC and GameStop. In fact, Dave Portnoy at Barstool Sports said, I quote, "Robinhood is dead." Here's another article on your screen, also published by Bloomberg. The headline reads, "GameStop's plunge triggers halts as platforms restrict trades." The stock was halted 17 times, everyone, 17 times, because the trading was extremely volatile. Here's an image on your screen that gives you a sense of the volatility. This is from Bloomberg. In one day, today, the 28th of January, the stock went up way up, all the way close to $500, and then went down almost close to $100 in trading today. Look at this chart on your screen. This is today's trading, and the volatility of the stock caused trading to be halted 17 times. And folks, in another headline on Bloomberg, which I already reported to you in this video, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez urges scrutiny of Robinhood curbs on GameStop, basically saying that, hey, you're not letting the little guy participate in the rally. Folks, I think this is going to result in a series of huge problems for Robinhood. So folks, if we take a step back from this and ask ourselves, why is this happening? A big factor in all of this is the low interest rate environment. When interest rates are low and when you can borrow money on margin, then you're able to essentially play with cheap money, and that leads to more speculation. That leads to speculation, folks, not only in things like GameStop, because this represents a small component of all the speculation that is going on right now. When you can speculate with cheap money, not only can you drive up prices of things like GameStop, asset prices like real estate go up, other stocks go up. In short, a low interest rate environment, which we are in right now, which we are in for the foreseeable future, is causing a lot of speculation, and this by extension is causing inflation of asset prices, which can be a scary thing, especially as interest rates go up, because then people will start to sell those assets. Because remember, when interest rates go up, money tends to leave the stock market. When interest rates are down, money tends to go into the stock market, because people are not going to want to earn 0% or close to 0% with their money in a bank account. They'd rather earn a few percent through the stock market, especially when we have these kinds of bubbles that are emerging. In fact, Mark Cuban actually talked about this and said that he leveraged the heck out of his own portfolio. Folks, leverage is a good thing. I have a lot of leverage. I own a lot of single family homes all over the country. I do use margin. I'm very careful about which brokers I work with, because I don't want to pay 7%, 8%, 9% margin rates. I'll be talking about that in another video, but I do use margin. But my goal is essentially to make more than the cost of borrowing money. I'm not looking to double my money or triple my money or participate in some sort of a speculative frenzy, simply because that is not my core area of competency. I'll be talking more and more about my own investing strategy in future videos. So please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. But first, let's take a look at important comments from Mark Cuban, billionaire investor from Shark Tank, who says that the low interest rate environment is causing a speculative frenzy and is causing inflation of asset prices, not just in stocks, but also real estate. Super important segment. Let's roll the tape and let me know what you think.
With all this stuff, SPACs, IPOs, GameStop, going up, whatever, I've lost track, 4,000%, whatever it is. Any of this have you worried about the Fed or the overall environment that we're in right now?
Of course, I hedged the heck out of my portfolio. Absolutely, it has me worried, because when you got such low interest rates, and we're seeing speculation everywhere, because as assets have inflated, you've seen it across a whole range of assets, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's trading cards, whether it's non-fungible tokens, whether it's housing. When you've got such low interest rates, you're going to get appreciable assets inflating. And so it creates a lot of concern, because when interest rates, if and when they do go up, and who knows whether it's years or decades when we'll see 4 or 5% interest rate again, then people will have different decision criteria, and that will certainly deflate. I don't want to call it a bubble, because it's reality given the interest rates, but there'll be a deflation of some sort in those appreciable assets, and it's going to be scary when that happens.
So that was it, everyone. Let me know what you think about this massive backlash against Robinhood, why I believe this is a sign of things to come, because we are in a low interest rate environment, and I believe that some of the problems associated with the low interest rate environment have only just begun. I'll talk to you about my investing strategy in upcoming videos, but I think that we need to stay calm. We need to stay away from speculative bubbles, and we should have a simple goal for ourselves. I need to make X percentage a year and compound my money every year, regardless of whether it's a low interest rate environment or a high interest rate environment. And that's what I'll be teaching you in upcoming videos on my channel. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Chhoda with Ignition Time. This right here is some information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. You're watching the Ignition Time channel. I welcome you to our channel. The thing that's unique about this channel is we cover the country, we cover the economy, and by extension, the impact that all of these things have on your money. I encourage you to please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. That helps out the YouTube algorithm. Also, tell your friends and family about us. Share this video with just 2 friends or family members. That would be amazing. One of the unique things about our channel is we always provide a link in the description section below to all our resources, because you can dig deeper into these news stories for yourself. We do all the research so you don't have to, and that is our commitment to you on behalf of me and my team and everyone behind the scenes at this channel. We release videos every single day. We release videos that help you understand the state of politics. What's going on in the White House with President Biden? What's going on in the House with House Speaker Pelosi? What's going on in the Senate with the new Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and the bane of his existence, the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell. You will understand everything that's going on in the complex chessboard, this chess sequence, where the key players are the President, the House Speaker, the Senate Majority Leader, and the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell. I help you understand what's going on in the complex world of Washington, D.C., so you can make sense of all of this for yourself. Follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Follow us on Twitter as well. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Here's my Twitter handle. You'll see that our Twitter community is growing very rapidly. I invite you to join us on our Twitter community because you'll see what I'm reading, you'll be able to engage with me, and I retweet the news in real time. So you'll be able to follow along all the breaking news with me on Twitter. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget, you can get on our SMS list. Just get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000. You'll get added to SMS alerts list. You'll get important news, breaking news from Ignition Time. You can also get on our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and then you'll be able to get on our email list. You can opt out of the SMS list or the email list at any point in time that you want. No worries about that. Also, keep in mind that sometimes YouTube does not always send out notifications on time. So all you have to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. Simply bookmark that and you'll be able to visit the homepage of our channel and check out our videos at any point in time that you want. Please comment below, become a part of our growing community. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thanks. Bye.